Right now, you are surrounded by air. You have a sky above you and earth below your feet. There are trees outside, they're surrounded by lakes and rivers, and the wildlife everywhere is vibrant. This is no coincidence. This is all thanks to God. God crafted our planet and placed us on it to carry out His good will. It is our job to do God's work on earth. One of our many responsibilities is stewardship of creation. This means taking care of the environment. This is actually one of the 7 Catholic social teachings. What is that, you ask? Let me show you. Listed above are the 7 Catholic social teachings. They are the teachings in the Bible that mainly focus on human dignity and a common good in society. Stewardship of creation can be as big as clearing the oceans of plastic or as small as throwing out litter. And no, Japan cleaning up Germany and Spain does not count as stewardship of creation. God calls on us to look after His creation, but not everyone has done their job. Let's take a deeper look. Well, in order to fully understand stewardship of creation, I gotta take you back. Perfect. This is the Garden of Eden, which was home to both Adam and Eve, the first humans. Here God taught us many lessons, one of which can be found in Genesis 2, verses 15 through 17. The Lord God put man in the Garden of Eden, and He commanded him to till it and keep it. God is asking us to take care of His land, and in return He lets us use His land however we wish, just as long as we aren't harming this land. The world we live in now doesn't respect the request of God and abuses its power over Earth. Humans have polluted the world, and now countless problems such as global warming have arisen. Our actions have consequences. Now you see, I am not making this up. God wanted us to look after His beautiful planet while He was off doing God things, and Jesus actually mentioned the CST in Matthew 6:25 through 26. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Isn't life more than food, and more than the clothing? People shouldn't be concerned over material things such as clothing. It isn't an excuse for how you treat the environment. If God can feed all the birds in the sky without any harm to the environment, I think He can do the same for us. Now, the Bible isn't the only place you'll hear about stewardship of creation. Try and think about somewhere else you would find information about this CST. Now, if you guessed Drake's new album, Her Loss, you're wrong. The correct answer is the Catechism and Papal Documents. Let me read you some. Man must therefore respect the particular goodness of every creature, to avoid any disordered use of things which would be in contempt of the Creator and would bring disastrous consequences for human beings and their environment. This sister now cries out to us because of the harm we have inflicted on her by our irresponsible use and abuse of the goods with which God has endured her. We have come to see ourselves as her lords and masters, entitled to plunder her at will. The violence present in our hearts, wounded by sin, is also reflected in the symptoms of sickness evident in the soil and the water, and in the air, and in all forms of life. This is why the earth herself, burdened with laid waste, is among the most abandoned and maltreated of all poor. Our very bodies are made up of her elements. We breathe her air. We receive life from her refreshing water. We cannot survive without Earth unless you want to try living on 430 degrees Mercury. No, we are stuck here, so we better learn to treat it with kindness. This brings it to my next topic. We're going to connect virtues and vices to this CST. The virtue of humility is focused on the idea that humans fully rely on God. This means everything that we have is because of God, and accepting this is necessary. That means things like AirPods, even if you've worked very hard to get them and got all the money yourself, it's still because of God. God also has the power to take away these gifts He gives us, since people are so ungrateful and selfish. Building these big factories for companies such as Nike and Adidas absolutely destroys the environment. They often cut down forests and take shortcuts so they harm the environment and they put themselves first. This leads us into our next topic, the vice of greed. The vice of greed is all about the human desire for material things. This has a huge connection with the environment and is actually the main reason we treat the environment so poorly. If you look around you, I bet you're surrounded by all sorts of objects, like this tape. But I can promise you that in the making of these objects, the earth was harmed in more than one way. Whether it be deforestation, releasing CO2 and fossil fuels in the air, or releasing harmful chemicals into our waterways. We humans are more focused on our material things and money than actual environments and animals and the habitats outside all around us, keeping the world going. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the vice of sloth. Now, it's all about being lazy, and everyone's a bit lazy. When we're on the couch, no one wants to go get up and get their remote. But I'm talking about taking care of the environment. You've seen these and heard the stories about people that were smoking a cigarette and were too lazy to bring it to a garbage. They threw it outside the window, forest fire started. If one person can cause that much problems in the environment, imagine what 8 billion lazy people can do. Hopefully you're able to identify the virtues and vices in your life and improve on them now. Now let's take a dive into some real-life examples of stewardship and creation in 2022. A woman living in Fort Chikuyan, Alberta was forced to leave her home because the lakes and forests surrounding her house were so contaminated it was unsafe for her to be in the area. Worst of all, these toxins and chemicals have been linked to many numerous cancers developed in the area. Damn! The government said that they would do something 13 years ago. To this date, they've never even investigated the area or the cause of this contamination. The lack of stewardship and creation from the government has caused many people to die and get sick. Now I hope you see how important it is to take care of our planet. If we just cast it aside, we'll have no animals. No animals means no cows. No cows means no milk. No milk means no ice cream.
早上好，中国！现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋。
God gave us the perfect ecosystem to live in. The least we could do is be stewards of this land. Thank you.